Bobby Kennedy poses an absolute existential threat to the usual suspects who, unfortunately, man and inhabit and subject themselves to the opinion framework of American society. He's the worst of them. He's the worst of them because he has never bowed and kowtowed to them. He knows so much more about the subject of either vaccines and immunology and compulsory shutdowns in immunology than anybody else, and he must be stopped. And the people who are in charge of everything recognize that so long as there is a Bobby Kennedy, and so long as Bobby Kennedy remains cool, and so long as Bobby Kennedy remains subject to this adoration, their plans are ruined. He must be stopped. So what they do is they spread the word that somehow Bobby Kennedy is a disaster, that he's crazy, that he's a lunatic, that he is devoid of any kind of mentation, that he is devoid of any kind of rational cerebration or mentation, that he's a tinfoil hat. I love the, and by the way, keep it up because within, I'd say, 2 more weeks, that term will have completely been exsanguinated. There is no relevance whatsoever. It doesn't mean anything anymore. It doesn't mean anything anymore to be a tinfoil hat conspiracy, whatever. These terms don't mean anything. They are anachronistic. They are used and provided for by people who don't know any better. Bobby Kennedy is one of the most important and critical voices, bar none, and that's why he is so loathed and detested. And the reason why is because he poses a threat. He makes it absolutely impossible next time for them to impose a threat. Let me back up before I even go further. You must understand my particular belief system. Number one, I think everybody in the real world understands and recognizes the efficacy of the notion of the vaccine. The vaccine works. Vaccines work. Vaccines work. Not all vaccines, but vaccines work. Surgery works. Chemotherapy works. Not all the time, not all chemotherapies, but work. Guns work. Sometimes they kill, sometimes they are effective. Guns work. Science works. Real science, not junk science. But you see what I'm saying? There's to use these terms, vaccines work. Nobody's going after vaccines. Let me say this again. Nobody's questioning vaccines. Nobody's saying anything about vaccines. Vaccines, Pasteur and everything, the idea of antibodies and everything, it's completely, we're not arguing that. We're not arguing that. But the point is that just because vaccines work, just because they're effective doesn't mean that they're always effective. Doesn't mean that they're always used by the right people for the right reasons. Surgery works. It saved lives. But look at what it's done for plastic surgery, for cosmetic surgery. Look at these things, these cyborgs walking around. They scare the living hell out of you because of how they look. So let us not forget, dear friends, let us not fail to recognize this very, very simple fact. These things work. However, the potential for abuse, the potential for nefarious applications are rife. And the potential for people to be using these things to do everything from wonderful ideas to stopping plagues and arresting life-threatening diseases and contagions and the like, all the way to depopulation and destroying huge swaths of people. All of that is possible within the appreciation of the ambit and the range of vaccines. So, which vaccine is merely the means of implementing, of delivering this particular ideology, this particular thing. It's the first thing that allows people to understand it, to grasp what's going on, if that makes any sense. It's merely the focus, the instrument, how they are used, how they are tested. That is what Bobby Kennedy is calling into question. And they're doing everything in their power. And what's also the most interesting, how easy it is for people who are obviously committed to the fact of trying to destroy Bobby Kennedy, who they want to destroy Bobby Kennedy, how these people are so able and so easy and so likely and so able to get other people to come out of nowhere to join the scrum, to join the pitchfork and torch, mobs and crowds clamoring and calling for his death. Isn't it interesting? People who don't know any better, they just love. People love to hate, and they love villains, and they love it. They don't. Remember, the majority of people who voted for Kamala Harris never voted for Kamala Harris. They voted for being against President Trump. They voted against President Trump. Think about this. The majority of people who did this voted against President Trump. But they voted for her, but they wanted to vote against him. They didn't just sit back. They had to vote for somebody who was opposing him, and they did it. And they were so easily motivated by doing it, even without being able to explain for a second what it was that motivated their particular hate and dislike. That's what this thing is right now. Please separate your feelings about Bobby Kennedy from your belief or non-belief or disbelief or misbelief or whatever regarding vaccines. The two are completely different. Do you hear what I'm saying? This is what we really need to do. I can't say this enough, my friends. I can't say this enough. I bless you for your time and bless you for your efforts. I ask you very, very simply to listen and to open your mind and to be open-minded to the notion, to this idea, to this thought, to this incredibly important focus that we have to maintain our health, to maintain our governance, and to rid and exclude and eliminate people who have nothing in mind other than to hurt us and to harm us. That's exactly what's going on. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and comment, dear friend, as you see fit.